Back to my channel. I'm recording two videos today. I just recorded the Amy Lynn Bradley one, and today I'm recording a spiritual teaching as well for you guys. That is why I'm wearing the same thing, so don't judge, please. Okay, so if you are new, my name's Hilary. I'm a medium psychic. I do true crime cases. I do readings for true crime cases and also do spiritual teachings on my channel here. And today is going to be a spiritual teaching. So if you're new, welcome, subscribe, like, follow, all those things. I greatly, greatly appreciate them, and thank you. So today we're going to be talking about, a lot of you guys, I get this question a lot, and it's about karmic debt. So this is going to be sort of a long video, so grab a snack, get comfortable, because I have a lot to tell you guys and teach you guys about karmic debt and what I have learned myself from my spirit guides and just throughout my whole entire spiritual journey about karmic debt. Okay. So a lot of you ask me if the accused will ever get caught, serve time, and pay for their crimes. I always write a script, so if that's why you're wondering, I just do. So the answer is yes. However, sometimes these people do not end up paying for their crimes in their current lifetime, but whether it is on the other side, after they've passed away, or in their next lifetime, they will end up paying the karma. This is called karmic debt, and we all have it. It is very rare that someone is incarnated into this lifetime or on this earth without karmic debt. In a nutshell, karmic debt is the main consequence of past life choices. When you haven't mastered a karmic lesson, it'll repeat itself over and over again until you have mastered it. Karmic debt doesn't need to mean that end of the world. Most of us have karma, but holding fear and shame around it isn't conducive for growth either. So instead, there are many fulfilling ways we can go about repaying or balancing these debts by doing good things, and they will come back to you in abundance. Do bad things, and well, the same thing happens. So the universe is sort of like a mirror, and it mirrors back what we give out. So the more good you do, the better your karmic credit score will get. So there is, I don't really like saying credit score, but I don't really know have any other words to explain it to you guys. So your karmic credit score takes a tumble when you act not so good and with ill intentions. So intentions, honestly, from what I've learned, are everything. So you could be doing something and someone could think it's absolutely awful, but if your intentions behind it were not awful and they were actually pure and good, you are not going to receive karmic debt because of that, okay? Because if we don't know something is bad and our intentions are for the outcome to be good, we can't receive karmic debt from that. So sometimes in life, despite our best intentions, it seems like we continually fall into a cycle of destructive behavioral patterns. There just doesn't seem to be a balance, and it looks like bad luck or bad karma is stalking you. Some of these destructive patterns include continual financial struggles, addiction, which is substance, gambling, sex, etc., addiction to anything really, avoiding responsibilities, sabotaging current and potential relationships, ending up in abusive relationships repeatedly, and all types of traumas. So throughout my lifetime, I've been through a lot of trauma. I've been through many abusive relationships, two very big, long ones. I have been through financial struggles. I've been through all of that. And I feel like I paid that off. That was a lot of my karmic debt that I had to pay off in this lifetime that I did quite early. So after paying all of this off, I feel like that is one of the reasons why I became closer to being enlightened and went through my spiritual awakening, was because I was able to pay off a lot of my karmic lessons in this lifetime. I'm not saying I don't have any more. I sure do. When someone says they're enlightened, it's one of those things where it's very, very rare for anyone to be enlightened, okay? Because enlightened means to be like Buddha, pretty much, where you have no karmic debt, you have no negativity, and you're pretty close to perfect, or being close to Jesus, or Yeshua, as I like to call him. So it is very rare that when a medium or a psychic or someone who is an empath, starseed, light worker, etc., when they say they're enlightened, they mean that they have paid off a lot of karmic debt in this lifetime, and so that led to usually a spiritual awakening and being able to connect with their authentic inner soul more clearly. So if you've picked up on some of these patterns within your life, you likely have a karmic lesson that you needed to learn from it. The amount of karmic debt you have is determined by the amount of unresolved negative energy you've accumulated based on the negative actions and behaviors you've taken throughout your lifetimes. For example, karmic debt is accrued by performing destructive acts like criminality, abusing your power, or knowingly cheating others. It can also result from harboring negative emotions or ill intentions that have gone unresolved. An example of this would be your inability to forgive someone holding or harboring grudges. The only way to get rid of this debt is by making amends for the mistakes you have made in this lifetime. If you acknowledge and address your current karma, you'll be less likely to repeat these destructive patterns and snuff them out before your subsequent lifetime. So the main goal, you guys, really is to not come back to Earth, right? We don't want to come back to Earth and reincarnate here. I talk about reincarnation in previous videos. Karmic debt is not the end of the world. There are ways to repay your debts, and but this first step is determining whether or not you are karmically liable. Okay, so here are 10 of the most common signs you might be in karmic debt. So the first one would be you notice reassuring destructive patterns in your life. So this could be like, I've already touched on this one, but if you're constantly struggling financially or battle with addictions or substances, activities like gambling, sex, etc., it's a sign that you have karmic debt that you have to deal with. If you don't check the finance or substance abuse boxes, you might find that the relationships you find yourself in are particularly toxic and unhealthy. This is also because of karmic debt. So you could also put others before yourself always. You're one of those people who cares too much about other people and often put yourself last to make everyone else happy. However, it seems that despite how much good you do for others, it just seems like it's never enough. They always want and need more. You're a doormat and a people pleaser and just cannot say no. If you run yourself ragged for others so much that it's taking a toll on you, this could be another sign that you owe a karmic debt. So another sign is karmic relationships are a constant thing in your life. So karmic relationships aren't normal. They're the overwhelming toxic type that makes you feel exhausted. Regardless of whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship, this seems to be the norm when it comes to you. So you just keep attracting narcissists and abusers. And these karmic relationships are unhealthy and can harm you in the long run. If you experience these often, it's yet another sign that you have a karmic debt to settle. One experiences soul-filling and overwhelming strength in a karmic relationship and experiences toxic effects and emotional exhaustion. Yeah. Perhaps there is some debt owed to that person, or there is a lesson to learn why that relationship is not working. So another one could be you feel like you're being made an example of. As a result of negative behaviors, you face punishments time and time again. This could further indicate that your karmic debt isn't being cleared but is growing. So you know what I mean, those feelings like what else could go wrong, or moments where you frequently think, why is this happening to me? For example, one day you could forget your driver's license at home, you get pulled over and shafted with a heavy fine. So those days where, everything just seems to go wrong, and then you get into the victim mentality mindset. So another one could be thinking before you speak. Do you find yourself acting without considering the repercussions of saying something that you would later regret? You are accumulating karmic debt in your current life. If you're not acting with pure intentions and you're always having those "I shouldn't have done that" or said that moments that eat at your conscience, it's a sign that you're accumulating karmic debt. So just be careful, guys. We all do it. We're all human, but just be careful to not say things that you're going to later regret that you don't mean. It's always important to think before you speak. So you're constantly nervous and anxious. So I want to say before I say that this is a part of karmic debt is that a lot of us struggle with mental illness and anxiety and depression, and it's very common in people who are light workers or who are spiritual or empaths or psychic mediums. It's very common for us to struggle with mental health issues as well. And a lot of the time, it's not a mental health issue either. It is just that we're very, very sensitive. Please don't go off your meds if you're on some just because of my video, okay? Because it also is very much so can be a chemical imbalance. But if you feel extreme despair and nervousness due to oppression, you cannot move forward. These keep you stuck in the past, stagnating instead of progressing. This is a telltale sign that you're in a karmic debt. So another one is nothing ever goes right for you. They say bad things happen in threes, but this rule does not seem to apply to you. They happen all the time. Maybe it's a new car you just bought that's broken down, the job you applied for that you were confident you would get, or your flight is canceled. Problems and heartaches in life are inevitable for you. However, they frequently show up, and it's a sign that you have karmic debt that needs to be repaid. So why clearing karmic debt is important, you guys? So clearing karmic debt is more important than you may think it is. It really depends on whether or not it is, if you want to reincarnate a bunch of times back on this earth. And it's really important for us to acknowledge it and try and work on it. So it helps to free the soul from all earthly ties so that one day you're able to experience complete and total harmony. When our earthly bodies die, it doesn't end there. So why would you want to be in debt in the spiritual world? Now, I do want to say it can end there. From what I've been told, we do have a choice to reincarnate again. But if we have a lot of karmic debt to pay and a lot of lessons to still learn, our soul is more than likely going to reincarnate back here. So you are where you are because of all your past karma. So that is a huge one. So everything that has manifested in your life, it might be a hard pill to swallow. So like I want to mention again, karma is nor good or bad. It is neutral. Whatever is good, whatever you do good is going to come back to you. Whatever you do bad is going to come back to you somehow. It might not be in the exact same form that you gave it out, but everything has to balance, okay? The universe is trying to always balance the energies, vibrations, the frequencies. So if you're sending something out, it's going to have to send something back to you to balance it out. So karma isn't bad or good. It is neutral. So where everything that has manifested in your life right now is a outcome of your past, your karmic debt, okay? I hope that makes sense. But the laws of karma may seem to be an inescapable cycle, but it is possible to transcend it. And it's a constant thing. It doesn't happen in one lifetime, you guys. Trust me, it happens in many, many lifetimes. Like I said, it's very, very hard to become enlightened, okay? So please don't start putting yourself down or feel bad or anything. It's a long time before we can get rid of this karmic debt. To break the chains of karmic debt, you need to make a concerted effort to eliminate the need to continue to make karmic debt, if that makes sense. You shouldn't owe anything to anyone and vice versa, and that's what I mean by that. So the more good we do in this lifetime, the more, without expecting something in return, the more we are clearing up our karmic debt. And that is something that I actually learned very early on in my spiritual awakening, was that I needed to do good for others continuously. And my way of doing it was readings. I still do readings without expecting anything in return. So always be aware of doing things for others and not expecting anything in return. It's okay once in a while to expect things in return. What I mean by that is, yes, we have to make money to live. Okay, so that's not where I'm going with this. But as much as you can, try to do good for others without expecting anything in return. Because also that's just your ego talking when it says you need something in return. Okay. But if you have anything to add, if you guys know anything more about karmic debt and you want to tell me more of your experiences and what you know, please let me know below. I love reading your comments. You guys know that. And a lot of my subscribers are spiritual and light workers, etc. So I would love to hear what you guys think about karmic debt and what you have learned about it. So yeah, comment below. If you are new, please subscribe, like, follow if you want to see more of my content. I really would love to have you here, and I appreciate you very much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, everybody.